I never thought owning a peaceful ranch by the lake would end up in a full-blown war with a homeowners association, and definitely not with a woman who thought she ran the place like it was her personal kingdom. Let me tell you how it all went down. I've owned this land for nearly 18 years. It's a quiet spread, trees lining the edges, a private lake in the center, and a small ranch house I fixed up with my own hands. It was my weekend escape from the city, my retirement project, and a place I never imagined would become the focus of someone else's greed. A few years back, a new subdivision popped up just a few acres over. It wasn't a big deal at first. Some newer homes, mostly city folks looking for country peace without giving up their HOA-controlled lives. I stayed out of their business and figured they'd stay out of mine. But then came Karen. Yeah, the kind of Karen who doesn't just complain, she commands. Blonde, loud, always wearing her red blazer like she was running for office. She became president of the local HOA practically overnight. She started throwing her weight around with ridiculous policies and fake community guidelines that had nothing to do with my land. The first red flag, she invited me to a mandatory HOA budget meeting. I politely told her I wasn't a member. She insisted that since my property shared water access with the rest of the community, I was part of the HOA by proximity. I explained that the lake was entirely within my property lines and that I had the original plats and deeds to prove it. She didn't care. She said, "Well, we voted, and your lake is now a part of our community green space." I laughed, genuinely thought she was joking. She wasn't. Weeks later, I noticed teenagers hanging out by the lake, paddleboards left behind, beer cans, even a new little wooden sign with Sunset Lake, HOA, private use only. That sign had my property name replaced with one her son apparently came up with. Her son, mind you, was about 22, drove a lifted truck, and treated the whole place like his frat house. I confronted her in person. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "It's already been handled. My son is the caretaker of the lake now. He's responsible for cleanup, and I expect your cooperation." I reminded her again, calmly, professionally, that the lake was mine, that I had never joined the HOA, and that she had absolutely no authority here. She smiled and said, "Then I'll have to involve the police." A week later, sure enough, I was woken up at 7 a.m. by sheriff's deputies knocking on my door. Karen was standing behind them with a smug smile, arms crossed. She claimed I had threatened community members and was illegally blocking access to public property. I showed the deputies the paperwork. They left embarrassed, telling her, "Ma'am, this is his land. You can't make up laws." She wasn't done. She called a vote among HOA members to purchase my lake using community funds.